So I'm sitting at my desk working away when I hear a knock at my door. "Alark!" I cry as I scramble to my door to see who it was. And when I open the door, I find no one. But looking down, I see this, emblazoned with a strange logo. So I do the only thing I know what to do. I unbox it. And what I found was glorious. An answer to everything people have been asking for years. Now, if you missed it, I did a review of the Roland Bridgecast X like 8 months ago. A criminally underviewed video, by the way. I watched it again today and wow, am I ever funny? But among all the disappointment and god-awful performance issues, what the hell is this? There was some educated guesses, prognostications, if you will, buried amongst the ruin that was the Bridgecast X.
I don't know what's going on. This is driving me batty.
You see, I saw a gaping hole in the market that had yet to be filled in any meaningful way. Now, a quick recap is, the hole was between the Streamer X and the Rodecaster video. Between the single video source and the ridiculous flex that this thing hit the market with. And this thing that was missing was something everyone wanted. More than one HDMI source, less than what this offered, and at a price that wasn't stupid. And the market had already set that price with the already mentioned Roland product, $500, which weirdly has gone up in price. I don't know how. And I begged the market to fill this empty hole. Anyone. Release something that everyone wanted. And not a single company did. Until today, that is. With this, the Rodecaster Video S that's already plugged in. We'll get to that in a second. This is the smaller version of the already amazing Rodecaster Video with exactly what everyone asked for and a bit more. And it has all the functionality and more than the Rodecaster Duo, but at the same price point. So then, let's talk about that. Now, this thing does not depart from the layout of the original Rodecaster Video, but it does shrink it down a bit. Instead of A through G, you now have A through E. And instead of 1 through 6, you now have 1 through 4. Otherwise, though, the front panel stays almost exactly the same. You will notice one less option in the monitor station, and that's the lack of a reference monitor, which you will see missing as we turn this thing around. And when we do that, let's start right to left. Now, you have 2 of those Revolution preamps that are the same as the ones in the Rodecaster series. Then you have 2 headphone options. Then you have your HDMI inputs with 3, which is the exact amount this thing needed. We'll talk about that in a bit. And of course, you have the output with only the 1 option there. Then you have the USB connections. Now, you only have 4 this time instead of the 5 on the larger unit. And the only thing missing is the extra camera or USB mic input. Otherwise, it stays the same. And of course, you have the RJ45 for all network stuff as well as the power. Only other thing missing is that there's no VESA mount on the back of this smaller one, which I can't imagine this small little thing being VESA mounted. There are a couple notes here. Now, I'm so happy that Rode decided on 3 HDMI inputs instead of 2. As a very common setup for this is going to be a 2-person podcast needing individual cameras as well as a group camera. That said, you can get more people on it if you expand with the USB mic or with the Duo with the USB camera. Realistically, there's a ton of setups that this thing's going to be able to do. One oddity I noticed though, the HDMI slots are turned around on the S. Now, it seems rather intentional and it really has no bearing on the quality of the product. Obviously, I'm really curious why that decision was made, just to satisfy my own curiosity though. And lastly, there's no antennas on the back of the S model. Rode moved those to the inside of the new unit. I've not noticed any communication difference whatsoever though. So one of the things that set this apart from the competition was the fact that you could basically have your very own production suite in a single unit. And all those great features are here on the Rodecaster Video S as well. Really, it's a producer's dream for basically creating a whole show without having to rely on any of those third-party stream hosts like StreamYard, which are getting expensive. You have scene setups, transitions, audio production, like all the Rodecaster effects. It's all in there. And all are set up with the Rodecaster app, just like they are on the original Rodecaster Video. And you can literally let your creative side go here. One of the coolest parts about this unit, it has 20 gigs of space for whatever stuff you want to pack onto it. Video files, pictures, backgrounds, assets of any kind, including audio, and all this can be loaded up and available at a touch. Not to mention, you have full control over the switching process and even exactly what you want to see from the outputs, like the HDMI output. Are you a gamer and you just want to see your game? Well, you can. Want to see everything all at once, especially if you're overseeing a show as a producer? Well, the multi-view is for you. And you can do this as well with the USB output and the new update with the NDI as well. Basically, you're getting the full functionality of the original Rodecaster video, but just in a bit of a pared down version. So I did notice one difference, and that's the smaller version runs hotter. Now, you might think that's a no-brainer and not an issue, but alas, it does have a fan. Now, the OG Rodecaster video, you did hear the fans on startup, but no matter how much I stressed it out, I never heard those fans come on again. As for this, it does seem to be on quite often. However, I will point out that the sound is negligible in a podcast or just in an all-around video environment. It's sitting less than 1.5 feet away from this microphone right now, just to give you an idea. Especially if it's away or behind the microphone like here, you're not going to notice it. But in case you're wondering the difference between the two units and the sound they have, here it is. Now, I should also point out that the audio is gained up there and not a real world example. So here it is in a working environment and the difference in acoustics. So my key light died in between doing the full video and coming back to do this. So it's a bit moodier for this one. But this is the Rodecaster video, the original, and the fan sound from a regular position of a regular dynamic microphone. And this is with the Rodecaster Video S sitting about 1.5 feet away. So this is just a refresher if you aren't aware of all the features in the original Rodecaster video. Pretty basic layout here though, and the software is really simple to figure out. So basically you click on the Rodecaster Video S and you've got 5 different options here, plus the settings up top here, which we're not going to worry about. So we'll start with the audio mixer, as that is, we'll get into the actual production part of the scene builder in a second with all this stuff. But first, let's look at the audio mixer. This basically allows you to basically do anything you want with all the audio mixing. You can add different stuff in here. Of course, you got the wireless. You have the network stuff, the NDI stuff that you can do, USB 4. Basically, all of your audio options are in here, including your HDMI audio. So if game audio coming through the HDMI, wonderful opportunity to play with all of that. Of course, you have the effects on all this stuff. And you can see that when you get in here, you have processing, all of the processing available for Rodecaster is in here. The audio is pretty straightforward. You can also do full mixes here. So you can send stuff. This is the headphone mix. Basic stuff that you've been able to do with basic Rodecaster series, including the Rodecaster video. But yeah, you can even check out what the HDMI A mix is. So moving on, we've got device configuration. This basically lets you go through all of the options and configure how you want it done. So this is all of your options, including frame rate, switching, recording, all of the fun stuff. This is where you turn ISO on, or isolated recording on. Next up, we have auto switching, and this allows you to basically have audio-based switching. So when one audio source starts playing or is active, meaning somebody starts talking into a microphone, it'll switch to the camera related to that microphone. So you assign microphones and cameras and it can switch between them. It's actually a very cool feature, and they've done a lot to create more of an easier switching experience. And then of course you have stream profiles, where you can set up your profiles to where you want to stream to, because you can stream directly from this thing. Like I said, the software is super simple and it's pretty hard to get lost in this. So let's go into the scene builder, and this is basically the exact same as the Rodecaster video, but again, less buttons. And right now we have 1, which is this camera, and we have 2, which is the Rodecaster Video S that's right here. Now, we're going to start with 1, and actually, you know what? Let's build a scene up. So we've got a couple. This is 1. So we're going to take this, and we're going to move this way. So you can see where my fingers are going. There you go. Or you can actually just zoom the camera out here. Let's bring it back a little bit more. There we go. You can see my messy desk when I do this. Goodness, no. There we go. There. All the things a producer gets to do. Okay, and so basically this is already set up. So we have a scene that we can kind of jump into. We can go back to this. We can move to a scene. You can build other scenes. There we go. This is the wider version of the Rodecaster video. You can see the Rodecaster video and Rodecaster Video S beside each other. I'll move that over so they're both in the screen. There you go. That is the 2 of them side by side. You can definitely see the size difference as you see them. But this is just another screen. And setting these up is pretty simple. You notice I clicked on one of the empty ones. And you can go over and we're just going to do a template, make this an easy one here. Yeah, let's do the picture-in-picture. And we're going to do, yeah, let's do that one. Okay, so this is where you choose your inputs. You can also choose media here if you have some uploaded. We'll talk about that in a second. There's a picture-in-picture, and we want to put camera 2 up top. And it's just that easy. Now, what is some of the things you can do if you see this and you're like, I don't really like this. It's not good enough for me. You can literally turn this into a custom job. You just go down custom, and now you can actually select the sources and you can actually change them up a little bit. So there we go. And now I can move over a little bit, and now we have a bit of a, yeah, there we go. Now we have a bit more, and we can actually zoom in on this. There we go. And now we have a bit of a closer view of the Rodecaster Video S. Let's go even more. And then, of course, yes, I've got to do manual focus. Pain in the butt. There we go. Okay, look at that. Now we've set up a scene. It is actually really simple to do. There's a lot of things you can do with this as well. You can change the XY values of it, where it's going to be, the width of it. So you can shrink it up if it's a little bit too big. So you can even choose rounded corners if you want to round off the corners like that. And you can see now how that has rounded corners. Same thing, like when you go to, let's go back to here. You can see that I rounded off the corners. I gave it a bit of a border, which is cute. You can really like get stupid with the border. That's not. There you go. Same thing works with all of the overlays. This is an overlay that I did up. I actually created this overlay. I imported it in, and then you put it as an overlay. And it's just that simple. When importing stuff, it's actually very simple. You drag and drop it. The rest of the buttons are pretty simple. This is media stuff that you can also put in. You can drag and drop media from the media library. So you drop it in here, then you drop it over here, and you can play your media. This includes audio. So you can go in and get an audio piece. There we go. There we go. We're going to go to this one. Now you can see that the audio is all set up here. So let's go to media, and we're going to set up A. Okay, and you can see drag and drop from media library. We're going to bring in a song. Let's say this is an intro. You can also bring in video, and you can actually play video. But instead, we're going to play audio, and I'm going to see if this actually does record. Epidemic sound, baby. Links are below. This is the audio playing. And it actually, you can see the audio graphic over it, or at least I can. So there's a lot of options. Again, you can also do the same thing with video in here. Again, this is also the part where you can set up all your fades and all the types of stuff that you want, whether or not you want to dip black, you want to wipe. The box wipes are fun. The barn door, though. I like the barn door. So this is my favorite. There you go. Yeah, look at that. And we can make it nice and slow, too. Let's make it like the awkward barn door. Okay. All right. That's like 90s VHS learning module right there. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That's sexy. We can also go with the dip black. Let's try that one here. Let's just move over to that. Okay. That's not too bad. That's actually better than the one. So you can go down half second there and you can, that's pretty good. I'd take it a little lower. Perfect. Not too bad. Anyways, that's basically the walk around on this. It doesn't get any harder than that. Everything's pretty straightforward. If you want to learn how to do keying, you've got to do that on the actual Rodecaster device. That's the walk around of the unit. And what a question to end this with. This thing is the first of its kind. Okay, you can spend more to have the Roland Bridgecast X. I would go watch my review before making that decision though. If you've been waiting for a multi-input video switcher and production suite in one, all of your prayers have been answered here. And for cheaper, at least at the time of writing this, of the only other competitor in the space. Now, I don't know what to tell you other than you should just be happy to jump on this. Now, I know there's going to be a bunch of people saying, what about the A10 Mini Pro? Well, yeah, it exists and it is pretty cool. But among other things, the audio is woefully lacking compared to this. Not to mention the lack of Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, integrated screen, lack of auto switching, and other limitations. Now, I think I'm just disappointed, though, in the rest of the competition out there after seeing the Rodecaster Video S. It's not like we didn't see this coming. I was talking about it 8 months ago, even almost a year ago, how the hole in the market existed and had to be filled. Now, everyone just has to play catch up with Rode if they want to compete. They let Rode set the standard, set the benchmark for what this should be, which is looks like Rode is kind of running away with this part of the market as well. Let me know what you think though. Is this a game changer for your content at only $499? Let me know down below. Cheers guys, and thanks for watching.